Capcom reveals revenue generated by Steam and PlayStation. Steam grew by 61.1%, accounts for 31% of Capcom's total revenue. PlayStation's sale decreased previous fiscal year, accounted for 10.5% of total revenue. 28 million games sold on Steam, no data for Switch or Xbox. Now, this is very interesting because, as I've been saying, your multi-platform strategy is going to keep your studios open. Now, I got to go back and refine that statement because not only is your multi-platform strategy the only thing you need release cadence as well. This is something that a lot of people in the industry right now are not talking about in terms of release cadence as being what I think is the primary driver of games in the industry. Why is release cadence important? Release cadence is important because you've got to sell games. And I'm going to put it this way, if you don't have other sources of revenue, or even if you have other sources of revenue, you still got to be able to make sure that as a gaming company, you are selling and putting games out there. The market is saturated, but you can still do it, but you got to get your game out there. And Capcom is showing the way and basically ensuring that they are as, financially settled as possible. In some cases, cadence might not be the way to go. So what do? Well, the wow factor. That would be From Software. They're gold struck with Elden Ring. It will be Rockstar with their, we're going to get you the game when it's all good, ready, and done, and when we've basically had our morning coffee. Stuff like that. But there are not many players as such in the industry. Capcom has revealed that the revenue generated through Steam grew by 61% in the past fiscal year, April 24th to March 2025. And these guys brought out busted titles. Busted PC ports. I bought Dragon Dogma, 2. I should have waited till I beat the first one because, man, I just gifted this company money for nothing. I did get the Street Fighter game, and that was not buggy, and that has been an enjoyable experience. But somehow I still keep buying these Capcom games. I'm like, Capcom, it's crazy, right? Reaching roughly $366 million US. It accounts for 31.1% of Capcom's total revenue. As indicated by GameBiz, Capcom has seen revenue from Steam sales gradually increase for the past 4 consecutive years. And by the way, this is written on Automaton by Amber V, by the way. Sorry about that. I should have mentioned. I usually say that. Why did I not say that in the beginning of this article? With at least leap being the most significant from 21% to 31.1% of total yearly revenue. Moreover, these figures are based on Capcom's company-wide revenue, meaning revenue from other businesses like amusement facilities is included. But when looking at Capcom's digital entertainment business separately, Steam accounted for 42.1% of revenue. Wow. See, ladies and gentlemen, let me just put it this way. When Xbox went to Steam in 2016, after getting pummeled on console sales, a lot of people did not know what Phil Spencer did for that company. Because their primary business was to make their own games to sell on their own consoles, right? But somehow, they weren't selling as many consoles as PlayStation because of, Don Maddox's team and the way they launched that console. So this is proof that you need to get your, I'm not saying, this is not just, see, Steam is so great. I'm not saying that. Just get your games to gamers, right? Because what else do you have to lose if a gamer on PlayStation says to his buddy, bro, man, that game is hot stuff, man. And the other gamer says, I don't have a PlayStation. No, you can get it wherever you want. And he goes to his Steam account and he gets it. On the other hand, it seems the share of revenue generated through PlayStation digital sales has decreased. In the previous fiscal year, PlayStation accounted for 10.5% of the total company-wide revenue, while this year, the figure has been omitted from Capcom's report due to its slipping below 10%. Interesting. If Steam if it went up 21%, then Xbox is somewhere around maybe half of what PlayStation is. Who knows? That's why it's not showing up. The remarkable growth on Steam was no doubt spurred by the launch of Monster Hunter Wilds, as well as sales of catalog titles. Capcom has been very active in bringing both new and old games to Steam in recent years, which has constantly proven to be a worthwhile strategy. Cadence, people. Cadence. Cadence. Right now, the gaming industry is not playing games with any of y'all. The gaming industry is like, hey, make games, make games, make games, launch games. Exclusives, what is that? If you want to sell, don't touch it, don't do it. Capcom learned. Regardless of who wants to give you money, you're better off going to a private investor that has no, that has no dog in the fight in terms of the platforms. They'll give you money as long as your title has reputation and has what it needs to sell. It seems like that's what investors are believing in right now. I cannot emphasize how big of a deal this is. I'm sure some people will probably maybe come in and say, oh, PlayStation sales went down. Ha, ha, ha. No. This is a third-party company. We already know that everybody's platform is getting, blasted into oblivion by Fortnite and Call of Duty. I made a video yesterday when I was talking about Ghost of Tsushima's physical sales being low, and I said, the reason these games are low is because, you're seeing all these other titles like Fortnite and Call of Duty and stuff take people's time. That person came out and said, well, that doesn't mean that these games, actually, show us what sales that they're getting. And I replied and said, World of Tanks was reportedly, was reported to have made about $11 billion. Free-to-play game. Which single-player game that's not GTA? Did GTA make $11 billion? How much? Well, they have GTA Online. Yeah. So I don't even need to bother with that. If I find they made $11 billion, that shouldn't even shock me. With GTA Online basically staying at the top 5 almost every given time across both consoles. How are they making money? They're making money from microtransactions and player interactions. So what are companies doing? Chasing the MAU. Even PlayStation themselves is chasing the MAU. Right? But they don't want to bring out their, the real, money-making strategy, which is to just be multi-platform and make their platform attractive based on what it offers. That's not just exclusive games, because exclusive games are now overrated, basically. You're sitting in a market where there are games coming out every minute almost. So that's not a proposition that a lot of people want to basically jump behind. You feel me? So Capcom seeing these, numbers and seeing these results, to me, it makes a whole lot of sense. It's not shocking. It shouldn't surprise anyone. It shouldn't make you go, oh, no, what, really? No. Whereas Warner Brothers, on the other hand, is not managing its IPs properly. Capcom is reviving Resident Evil games like crazy, throwing them up in the air, saying, hey, which Resident Evil do you want? Gamers are like, this one. They're like, here you go. Whereas Warner Brothers is sitting there and they're like, no, we have all these superheroes. We're not going to give you anything. Leave. And so they've ruined their own studios. They won't license out their games. How are they going to be able to see such revenue? This is where management comes into play. You got good management, you will see, I think, success in the gaming industry, even with poor performing titles. And that's in regard to FPS and, performance and such. Comment section. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace out.